we were lured into this dialogue it was really a trap to cool down the country, buy time, but they had no intention of addressing the real issues that took the people to the street. It was not about those people didn't die for Mudavadi to get an office or for Raila to get an office. They wanted their lives bettered, and this was not achieved at Bomas.
Do you think
and this is why, had we, and I must say this, had we addressed this thing last year, our Gen Z children would not have come out. Had they not again arrogantly brought an even worse finance bill 2024, these lives lost, 75 lives last year, over 60 or 100 lives this year, would not have been lost. This was a preventable situation. And this is why we're saying the buck stops with Ruto. He must take responsibility. So for us as Azimio, to actually go into bed with Ruto, it is betrayal of the highest order. And this is why, as we sit here today, in Azimio, we said this yesterday in Thika in Kiambu County, I think we have reached a point of divorce. In a marriage, when grounds for divorce arise, one of those is when you have irreconcilable differences. When a marriage breaks down irretrievably because of infidelity, then the court grants that divorce. I think that is where we have reached, and we have disagreed as a matter of principle, because people are saying Okoh Kenya from Zakayo. But part of Azimio is saying to Okoh Zakayo. The two are irreconcilable differences, and that is where we have reached. I know Martha Karua has been here. She has already given her notice as NAC Kenya of quitting Azimio. Peter Munya is here. He has also given notice. Very soon, EUGENE, WAMALWA, and DAP will give notice. But these are matters that we are now addressing. So, City, I can tell you, as Azimio, we have lost direction. And we must, we have sinned against the people of Kenya and fallen short of the glory. That is something I must say this morning to Kenyans. But we are doing something about it, and very soon you will hear from us.
You know what, Peter Munya was here last week.
Yes.
He's talked about various options. One of the options would be to see if you can reconcile as a unit that Azimio is. Another option would be that the individual parties then walk out. And he says he had wanted to walk out, but the leadership of PNU told him walking out alone doesn't serve the interest of PNU. You need to walk out. You need to work as a collective. So the other option is walking out as a collective. What do you think? Which of those three options sounds palatable to DAP-K?
This morning I can say all options are on the table. But irreconcilable differences have a reason in the Azimio coalition. Because of the decision of one of our affiliate parties, ODM, agreeing to go into bed with Kenya Kwanza.
One partner has cheated.
Yes, and infidelity is really a ground for divorce. When we were at Bomas, one of the principles was fidelity to multi-party democracy. William Ruto is an existential threat to our democracy. He's an existential threat to devolution. He started from day one cannibalizing the opposition. Azimio won the majority in parliament. We had almost 175 members of parliament. Before these members were sworn in, he started by buying off. We had UDM, almost 7 or so members, to crossover. Then he cannibalized Jubilee, took almost 26. They crossed over to his side. Then he went for ODM and took about 8 members of ODM. So when we were at Bomas, one of the main issues was the issue of fidelity to multi-party democracy and saying no to cannibalization of political parties and killing multi-party democracy in Kenya. And we said this must not be allowed. So for our colleagues in ODM, which had partially been cannibalized, to agree to be fully cannibalized by the same political cannibal is really something that we cannot understand ourselves. Because when you take the leader of ODM and support him to Addis, then you take his 2 deputy leaders into your cabinet.
And the chairman.
Then you take the national chair of that party into your cabinet. Then you take the leader of opposition himself, because the minority leader in our current setup is the leader of the opposition, into your cabinet. Then you have swallowed the entire leadership. You have actually swallowed that party. So to me, when you're talking about a government of national unity, there isn't anything like that. This was just completion of the cannibalization process of the opposition that William Ruto has achieved.
Mheshimiwa, I have to ask this question because it reminds me of something that African leaders like going on about colonialism. The colonialists did this, that's why we're where we are. Our police service was a police force during colonial times, that's why the way we are. Why is it that we never seem to learn from the colonial masters and do what they do well? If you have somebody who happens to be the chief executive and he is good at convincing people to join him, it shows that you people are not good at preventing him from from getting your people to move towards him. So he is proving to be better at this thing. We may say it's not constitutional, we may say he's breaking the rules, we may say he's not playing cricket, but he has done it. And all that the opposition seem to be left doing is complaining that he has done it.
Without a gun to your head.
Yes, exactly. And you're all politicians. You're all politicians. How is it that there's no comeback to all this? Because he seems to be doing it. He's doing it. ODM is the big brother partner in Azimio. If I had to use your terms, it has been cannibalized. So, what is left of Azimio?
ODM is just one of the parties in Azimio. All the other parties have said no to joining Zakayo. The Democratic Action Party of Kenya held a National Executive Council meeting, and we took our position that we will not join Zakayo. NAC Kenya did the same. Wiper has done the same. Jubilee has done the same. And PNU, as Peter Munya said, was the latest party to say no. So where we have reached is to agree with our brothers that you cannot be on both sides of the aisle. You cannot be in government and be in the opposition at the same time.
So, have the other parties called for a meeting of Azimio?
Yes, we have, and that is why I'm saying we are in the process.
When is the meeting?
It is ongoing. Consultation started. We had a meeting last week, and the meetings are going on this week.
Was ODM
so the matter is going to be
part of the meeting?
ODM was part of the meeting. In fact, it's not the entire ODM that had actually agreed to go into government. You have heard of voices of reason, like Governor James Agri Bob Orengo. Orengo has been very categorical about this. So it is an internal issue which we don't want to interfere with. ODM is a democratic movement. We respect their democratic right to make decisions whichever direction they wish to go. But what we are saying is that you cannot be both in government and in the opposition. You cannot run with the hare and hunt with the hounds. You cannot do that. You can't be on both sides. So this is where we have reached, and I think we're in the process of seeing how that matter can be sorted out, or a divorce is effected between all the other parties and ODM in Azimio. So this will be made public very soon, but the processes are ongoing.
They're ongoing.
Yes.
What's the position of the Azimio Council Chairman, Uhuru Kenyatta?
I think he will be part of the ultimate meeting that will make that decision, and you will hear from him.
So far, what is his position? Because you see, many times people get angry with me when I say Azimio, and it's just like NAC Kenya, rudderless.
Yes.
But now here we are. So the leader of Azimio has been quiet when all this has been happening. The candidate, the principal in Azimio, has blessed his people to go into government.
Yes.
The deputy has said we have walked out of Azimio. The other principals are the ones now who are making noise. What? Surely.
Where are we exactly?
Yeah.
We will be...
Why are we still talking about Azimio? Let's just...
No. The Azimio is still a coalition that is existing. And very, very soon a statement will be made as to the future of Azimio.
Has Uhuru called a meeting of Azimio?
That meeting is coming, and he is the chair. We will be able to hear from him and the entire council as to whether we remain in this marriage, or we divorce. So that is coming. And all I can say this morning to Kenyans is that all is not lost. There are still those who believe in Kenya remaining a multi-party democracy, and who will not fall into the trap of William Ruto killing multipartyism in this country. We do know City, as you have said, is a very shrewd politician, and his political mentor was none other than the professor of politics, Daniel Torotich Arap Moi. That's where he was mentored. And when you look at the moves he's making, and anafuata nyayo, this is how multipartyism was almost killed in Kenya. It was actually killed, and Kenya became a single-party state. William Ruto is setting the feet of this nation towards that by cannibalizing the opposition. And some of us are saying we will not allow it, even if it means parting ways with some of our present allies.
Okay.
As a matter of principle. That is where we stand. And I think it's Thomas Jefferson who once said that in matters of style, you can swim with the current. But in matters of principle, you stand like a rock. That is where we stand.
DAP-K party leader EUGENE Ombaso has been our guest. He says, ndoa imevunjika. That's basically it.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.